Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a while. Been busy with school and stuff, and of course, I've been sick. And today I'll bring you a tutorial that has been in the wait for a long time. So I'm finally gonna do the How to Aseri tutorial, and I think that I've gathered enough knowledge and I just overall have enough practice to do this tutorial. So without further ado, here we go. So after digging around for samples, I finally came across this one right here, and that's what inspired me to make this tutorial. So overall, just a great song in general. I'm probably going to cut up 3 different parts. So there's the first part right here, just the first loop, and then there's the part with like all the saxophones and whatever. Like that. Then there's part with the vocals. So yeah, this should be a very interesting song. And of course we're gonna make it pretty slow. Like most of Aseri songs that like aren't collabs are around like 109 or 108 to like 115 or 13. And that's actually usually what the tempo that I put my songs at. It's either 109 or like 133, just like really awkward like tempos that you don't hear too often. Yeah, so I guess we can download this and get to FL Studio. Alright, so we got this sample in here, so we can go in Edison and we can cut up some parts. Alright, so I think we cut up the sample pretty well, so we got 3 different parts out of this, so we can add some good variation. We got an 8-bar loop, a 4-bar loop, and another 4-bar loop. So this one's just going to be at the start, I think. And this is going to be later on in the first drop. And then this is going to come in at the end. And this might come back. So that's the plan for the samples. So now we can stretch them on beat. So first thing we can do is set the tempo to what we wanted. So like 108. And then just use this knob right here. And it's going to lock onto each beat. If you do quickly, you can tell. So make sure it locks on to the number 5 if you're at the start. So that's 4 bars. And then we can do that for each one. So now we can put the ball in the mixer. So we probably want to remove the low ends. And probably some reverb. That would sound cool. Widen it a bit. I think a delay would sound really cool. So just a default delay 3 and turn it down to all the way here. Alright, so now you have to link everything. So you're gonna right click the new insert track, go on file, and you see save mixer track as. You're gonna hold and drag that onto each one. So now all 3 of the first channels are have these effects on them. So now it should be good. So around that height for leveling is pretty good. So now you did that, you can pick any other inserts that are empty and do the same thing to insert 4. So now this track is empty and all these tracks have the same effects on them with the same settings on each of them. So now we can start getting to the drums. Alright, so let's start with the 808. So we have this right here. I think this is going to work perfectly for what we're going for. And we need a really good snare. So this is my new drum kit. It's going to come out probably by the end of June. But yeah, I'm still working on it. I got all my snares so far. So start with a good snare. In hi-hats, you're going to pick this one right here. This is a very common hi-hat that he uses. And for kicks, I have a really good kick here. You're gonna need like a really beefy kick. Yeah, so it's like really simple drums, just nothing special, just get straight to the point. All right, before we start the drums, you're gonna highlight all of these by double clicking. So you're gonna highlight one of the sounds, it's gonna show up green, and you're gonna click it one more time. So now everything is gonna be highlighted. Now, keep them highlighted, go on your mixer, pick a track with an insert with a bunch of them like empty on the side, and just right click, channel routing, route selected channels starting from this track. Now everything should be organized automatically, and yeah, that's a very helpful tip. I'm actually going to change the kick because this one sounds too, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a sub bass layered on top of it or under it, so we're going to take one that's like really clean. Alright, now we can start going with the hi-hat pattern now that we got our drums and snares down. So first thing we did, we just filled each 2 steps, and now you're gonna hit this little magnet right here and go to 1/6 beat. So now what that does is cut up the grid so that now you can make these types of rolls. Now you can just keep playing with these settings. I usually go to 1/4 step and add some really like fast hi-hats here and there. So basically, any time that you feel like the hi-hats are repetitive, change something. So definitely right here it's repetitive, and obviously right here the entire bar has no variation. So you're just gonna keep your hi-hats interesting. Alright, so I finished my hi-hat pattern, and this is what it sounds like. Now you can play around with the velocity, but I think the hi-hats sound pretty fine when they're sharp like this. But one thing you can do is change the pan. This is gonna be very subtle because Aseri doesn't usually do this, but personally I think it sounds like really cool. So just very subtle hi-hat change. Alright, now we can start the 808. Before making your pattern, you need to set up the 808. I could make an entire tutorial on this, but I think it's really simple. So basically you go on the second tab right here, and this is what everything should look like. And basically you're gonna play with these knobs right here. So you're gonna turn every single one of them down, except for the bottom ones. Every single one of the top row down, except for hold. So hold, you can drag it like as far as you want. And now what this does is that it stops your 808 when you let go of a note. So that's really useful when you want to have little pauses in the song so the 808 doesn't keep going. So yeah, that's really good. And also you can click cut self just in case, but usually this should do the trick. And next thing you're gonna do is probably the most important part, is right click here and click edit, and now you have the 808 in this like different program called Edison, and you're gonna click this little flag right here, I guess, and go down to detect pitch region. So click that, and it should show you what key your 808 is in. So it says it's B1. So now you can find the key of your sample, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna go on your sample, click edit, detect pitch region, and now it says that it's F. So if you can set the key of the 808 to the sample, so that everything's on key, it should sound like 10 times better. So what I do with 808s, I copy the kick pattern and I paste it on this, and then I go into the piano roll. And a really cool trick is if you click this little tool right here and click quick legato, it's gonna fill up everything, so you don't have to waste time dragging everything, except for the last one though. But you can just drag that one out. Alright, so now you can start with the 808 pattern. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Now you can go to leveling and just master everything. So in my new drum kit, I'm gonna have a mixer preset of the master track. So all you need to do with mixer preset, just drag it on to insert, and it should put all the effects with all the presets already done. So this, these are the effects I have for the max master. So we can just go through. So you can just pause and copy exactly that if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And now it sounds completely different. So I think that sounds pretty good. So let's drag it on our sample and see how it sounds and just make adjustments from there. So I made a few adjustments to the kick pattern. I just added this right here. So I just added a pitch bend right here, and it makes it a way smoother transition from one note to the other. Alright, so we can keep going with arranging. Alright, one thing I almost forgot to say. Like I said in my first tutorial, my first funk tutorial, people are going to throw rocks at you if you have this on the red. So as you can see, it goes over to the red on my kick. So all you need to do is add something called a soft clipper. So what that does is it makes it, it's like a limiter, except it does it way more smoothly. So this is what it looks like. So now it's more in the orange than what it was before. Alright, now we can show you how he makes his intros. So if you hear any Aseri song, except for Brody, there's an intro with like a little drum beat at the start. So it helps you like get in the rhythm and the vibe. So this one is really popular. So you're gonna put that right there, and it's gonna make a more smooth transition from the intro to the drop. Another thing that you're gonna hear in Aseri songs is this loop right here. So this one is also found in the Rich Beats drum kit, and it sounds really cool in pretty much any track. So this is what it sounds like with the drop. We're gonna add an acapella. So think of any song that you like and you can try it out with this method. Sure, how about this one right here? Lust by Lil Skies. Alright, so take the song and drag it in and edit. Right click and edit, like usually, and go to the drop. Alright, so that's gonna loop pretty well. So you're gonna highlight that, drag that onto the original song, and now you have your 4-bar loop. So put that on beat, and this is what it sounds like. So you can tell there's something really wrong, and that's because the beat of the original song is still in. So now our goal is to remove that. So you're gonna solo that track and loop it and just let it run in the background while you add different effects to it. So put that in your mixer. And there's numerous effects that we can use. So one that I really like is multi-band compressor. So this is default with Fruity Loops, and it looks pretty old, so I'm guessing it's in a lot of different versions. So basically all you have to do is press M on the low bands and it's gonna remove the low ends, and M on the high ends and it's gonna remove the high ends. So here's what I mean. So it's fine if you can still like hear a little bit of the beat, because it's just gonna get completely drowned out by your own beat. So this is what it sounds like so far. I'm pretty sure this should sound fine. Alright, so one thing I forgot is the melody. So that's the most tricky part to take out. So you're gonna add a paramedic EQ, and you're gonna like experiment with different parts and see if you can remove the melody. Alright, so I think that sounds really good. So now one thing you can do is split the drums. So there's one thing you could have done a lot earlier, but you're gonna click on the pattern, just click it once, and then go over to this arrow and click split by channel. So now you can drag that down. And now you can remove certain parts at certain times, like I've shown you in many tutorials. So another trick, if you highlight a bunch of tracks and you click Control B, it's gonna copy paste over to the next beat. That's pretty much it with the track, actually. We can just arrange and add different effects at some parts, and that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching, and here's the outro.